Tiana is 16 months old, and then Jack is 2. So, there is,
Trevor, 3 years. Oh, no, that's Trevor.
It's not gonna be a. Get out of the door.
That's right, yes, you did.
So I came to show and I just thought, geez, it was one of the first big productions. Wow. You're gonna keep up with it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Good. Very good. You were excellent. Everybody's.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It's just,
Skill.
it's just junior
Skill.
high.
They have, our Christmas one is gonna be It's a Wonderful Life.
she's friends with.
I'll be there.
Yeah, but for the church, she comes to
I
this
know,
school.
but.
Kids in it, yeah.
Probably know.
Miss Cynthia thought, I don't know if I get it.
Oh, yeah, what role do you want to play?
So there it is.
You said It's a Wonderful Life, right?
That, yeah, for December.
You could be George Bailey's mother when she's an old maid, you know, and never born, right?
Well, that's- well, no,
Thanks,
check the
folks.
ball for a reason.
Thanks, folks.
I appreciate
I
it.
didn't mean it. I was just trying to get it. George Bailey's wife.
I don't have.
You remember when he was being born?
I remember that too, it seemed like yesterday.
Yeah, when he was being born, we were all together, that's right,
Yeah.
100%.
So when did you finish going?
I still have, I'm gonna go in 2 more days.
Oh, okay. 'Cause Andrew's-
Finish up for the extra days and stuff like that. I got maybe a few more calls to make.
But more home visits.
Yeah. Well, if you hear about my last one, I'm done, that's what I'm done.
That's what I said.
Twice.
We talked about, you were at the OSSC meeting.
Yeah.
I'm done.
But the best is here in May, tell her.
Yeah, she tells it way better than I.
Because she just laughed.
What do you say, sir? How are you? Todd? Good, buddy, good. They have the order now.
Sure.
Yeah, we did that.
Oh,
Yes. And I think the 23rd.
Busy day today.
Yeah.
Those are tough days. Important days, but right now, first. Oh, these two, yeah. Actually, and there's no one, for such things, there's unfortunately no one program that fits all. Because it's a lot.
Hi, how are you?
Where the heck we go? Now, it's in time. So, yeah, I got bio on the call.
I think I'd be willing.
Becky, here you Mr. Picasso. Sorry?
Oh, my God.
How you doing?
I backed out.
Oh, I have no idea.
I know they Sunday.
Oh, no, good. Oh, yeah.
High school team?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's gonna be in,
Hey, we got
I wanna say it's the last weekend in August. Yeah, last weekend in August. Is, I think it's actually before school starts. No, Coco might, but I don't know. I'll text Coco. Okay. Perfect.
Hey, how's everything going?
Hey, well, busy.
Go ahead.
Not making it into the woods. Just doing stuff, bro. I went, I did a lot of outdoor stuff though. Went skiing, went snowboarding this year. Yeah. That's the fun stuff. I figured you figure that stuff out, right? As you know, you figure it out, you go through.
Oh, I love it. We can, please. I love it. Yeah, this year.
Hello.
Yeah, you said with this go.
Yeah, I
I'm hoping we can get out. I really, I just got like, I'll get out. I'll figure it out.
Dave, did you draw the short straw?
Josh has that.
Find the right spot. I hear it.
Who?
Thank you,
I almost
Mr.
got
Picasso.
to walk Main Street today.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
It wasn't me.
it was you, it was my super.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
I know, yeah.
I wondered who that crazy driver was.
Red Jeep, kayak.
Amy, Amy,
Yes, sir.
can you give me an agenda? Not that one.
The full agenda.
That's
Okay.
fine.
I just feel a bother with mine.
Okay, sure, not a problem.
Couldn't bring it.
It's better, so if people go from across the state, I'm gonna, I've never been to it, but I'm gonna say it's probably similar to.
Hey, come here.
Sir.
The
Hey, what?
same ones and what they were.
Dave, your mother already?
So, like, we went-
Get to travel, watch grandkids, things like that.
Yeah.
All the things that are fun for her.
No, I mean, see, her health is on the I just think that, worry that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you asking.
Tell her I hi.
Will do, will do. How you feeling?
I hope it's
Dave,
as I need.
Yeah.
Come here. I went down to you and like, I thought maybe they could help me, my wife, my leg. I told you that before. I went down. They gave me 9 shorts in this.
Maybe you get out there and you hear about the way that. What's going with,
I didn't feel one. Yeah, we made it worse. I come home from down there, I feel 9, 6 times.
Really?
I got it as 30.
Yeah, you go to the best places.
That's definitely, it's up there as one of the best.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hi, Dawn. Hi, Ed. How are you?
Hi, Edward.
How are you?
Good.
Church girl.
I got one second.
I know, but I see you.
Oh. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I recognize her, yes. How are you? Good, how are you? Good, you're welcome. How are you,
Good,
Ron?
good. How are you?
Nice to see you.
I have a handout, is that okay?
Perfect.
And is this my opportunity to wish you well?
Yes.
When is your last day?
June 14th is my last one.
Well, it was a pleasure to work with you, and I wish you the best of luck. Yeah.
Whenever you're ready. I actually.
No, if you want, I can hand them out.
I'd like to do it, yes.
Yeah, I'll wait until I go up.
Yeah.
Alicia, we're gonna have you first.
Oh, thank you.
You're from Pittsburgh, you have quite a
That's super
distance.
kind of you.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you so
absolutely,
much.
of course. Okay, so this is Crystal's coffee, and she said you are more than welcome to use it.
I don't have mine.
But that's okay. But she, but she wants it back. So, you know, you're not getting carried up. Just give it right back. Mr. Allen, make sure, okay?
Hey. I gotta get a picture of that guy.
I was almost blinded by his smile when I walked in. It was so bright back there.
My agenda.
School counselor that's retired.
I'm familiar with that. And she sent me a picture. No, not yet. I haven't had a chance to even go down. I am though. That's on my list without question.
Yeah.
You say I'm wrong, fine.
Hey, young fella. How are you doing?
Well,
That'd be.
they update about Where's the what?
Oh, the flags. I don't know.
Next room over there.
Do you have flags in your room?
Just the one that's on the side of my fridge. You have to hold it.
They are.
I have no idea where they are.
Did they use them? Sometimes they grab them. Did
Mr. Kashadi,
they take them to the graduation?
did you use these flags for graduation?
Yes.
Oh, do you know where they are now? No.
Why don't we do this?
Put it up on the. There we go.
Look at this.
Maintenance usually.
And they may have brought it back and I was in this office all day.
Why would they?
Because he was in here all day
Oh, they probably.
with RFPs for.
Forget it, you know, they found it.
Oh.
You have to hold it.
Okay, they brought them back at the meeting.
Just stand and hold it.
My apologies.
You should apologize.
It's your fault.
We're ready, buddy.
I'd like to call to order the Grand Johnstown School District board meeting. We had something real sad that happened with one of our students. I was Mayor Sweeney, and I was one of them who actually gave him his diploma. And so I was told that the Monday, he was already going to start a job. That his life was going to start being born. He's going to have it, he's going to open up, and And to me, that just shows you how life is. You never know. But that was one of the saddest things. So, before we go to the opening prayer, we'll have two prayers. One for Tajmir. Please stand for a moment of silence. Now for the opening prayer, if you want to participate. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And before we start roll call, I want everyone to know that Bruce Jordan's here. Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you.
We need a roll call, Debbie.
Mr. Allen,
Here.
Mr. Belsky,
Here.
Mr. Davy,
You're here.
Mr. Jordan,
Here.
Mr. McKessie,
Here.
Mrs. Murray. Here. Mr. Pence,
Here.
Mr. Runsberg.
Here.
Ms. Auggie.
Here.
9 members present.
For the agenda, we're gonna have to add letter G to, for the motion on C 10924 and another amendment to E 12024 and PM 38824. Mrs. Akari, Dr. Akari, do you want to, we have to have a
First on the motion.
Motion?
Motion.
motion by Tony, second by Randy. Any questions? Now she can read.
Okay, so we will be adding under Education Committee, a continuation of motion E 10924, that the following board policies be approved and reading waived for the first review. That is G number 805.4, electronic controlled devices, police department. So that is a new policy in line with our development of our school district police department. E 12024, this agreement just came in today, but is critical to our mass communication, that the agreement between the district and Power School Group LLC for a school messenger communicate license and subscription effective May 24th, 2024 through May 23rd, 2027 at the rate of $7,490 during the first year and an annual renewal rate of $5,600 the second and third year be approved. And then also we are adding to personnel and negotiations, PN 38824, that the resignation of Caitlin Gross, first grade teacher at Johnstown Elementary School, effective the end of the 23-24 school year, be accepted and the administration be authorized to post and advertise the vacancy. Obviously, we want to fill that position, so we're asking that to be an addendum. And then under buildings and operations, there was a typo under BO 5024. After the monthly rate of $1,000, we need to add under the same terms and conditions within the body of that motion. And I think that is all of the additions to tonight's agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve the.
You had a motion
You
second.
need it, you need it. Take the-
You had a motion second. You said,
On vote on this?
yeah, I think.
Oh, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passed. Now I need a motion up for the approved agenda. Motion by Edward, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed. Now we're gonna go into the presentations. This is Dr. Akirio.
That's okay. You can call me Mrs. Dr. Amy. It all works. So our first presentation tonight is Miss Alicia Henry is here from PNC Bank. Thank you so much for driving in from Pittsburgh. And she is going to provide the board with funding and bonds updates as to our financial health here in the school district. So Alicia, nice to see you and thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Dr. Arcorio. It's absolutely my pleasure. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the School Board and Administration. Again, I'm Alicia Henry. I work for PNC Capital Markets, and I haven't been in this boardroom since 2020 when we completed two very successful refinancings that saved $1.5 million. And that's the sad part about my job. You don't need me very often. And I told Samantha and your solicitor, Attorney Repack, that I appreciate the opportunity to come speak to the board about your bond issues. As you get new board members, it's really nice for me to have the opportunity to meet you and answer any questions you might have. And what I'm going to talk about, I think you're going to be very pleased about. The debt picture for the school district is very, very good compared to your peers. And I think, thank you, Samantha, for handing out my handouts. If everyone has one before you, if you can flip past the cover, what I tried to do was, page one is a very quick and dirty, simple summary of your three bond issues. And then behind that is the very detailed information for each bond issue. So we'll start at the top. You have three bond issues outstanding. You have your Series 2001 C bonds. And obvious, maybe it's not obvious, but the year noted in the bond issue is the year it closed, not your school year, but calendar year. You've got your 2020 bonds that we refinanced that are tax exempt. And we have the 2020 bonds that we refinanced that were done taxably. And the next column is original par, and par means bonds or principal. So that's the amount of principal that was outstanding when you issued it. So just under $5 million on the 2001, 5.925 on the 2020 tax exempt, and 22.6 and change on the taxable 2020s. Today outstanding, you still have the same amount on the 2001s. Those are CAB bonds that don't accrete, and I did not issue those. We can talk about those on the next page, but we talked about those in 2020. You have paid down some of the 2020 tax exempts, and you've paid down quite a bit of the 2020 taxables. The final maturity on the 2001s is 2031. And the final maturities on the two 2020 bonds are 2033. Unfortunately, those CAB bonds are not callable, which is why they're still outstanding. There's nothing I can do to address those. Your 2020 tax exempts will be callable in 25, and your 2020 taxable bonds, since they were over 10 million, will be callable in 2030. But what you're going to be very excited to see is that you're paying fairly bottom of the barrel interest rates, and I don't know that I'll ever be able to refinance them for you, and that's bad for me, but very good for you. So as it stands today, your total debt outstanding is just under $25,695,000 in change. And all three of your bond issues, which is also an anomaly, you are receiving plan-con reimbursement from the state on all three bond issues, which you're new to the board. Plan-con was a way the state would help subsidize capital projects. And sadly, they put that into moratorium about 10 years ago. And there's been rumors of them resurrecting that since they did that. And I don't really have any further information. But the good news is all of your bond issues are still receiving plan-con reimbursement, which is wonderful news. And then for those of you who don't like numbers, I do like to provide a bar chart for people who just like to follow along visually. But if you take the debt service on all three of your bond issues, and you'll see the term local effort because that means after plan con reimbursement, your aggregate local debt service is just around 3,290,000. And you'll see a nice step down around $2.8 million in 2033 and 2034. So the wonderful news is your debt after this fiscal year is 10 years. And again, compared to your peers, you might not feel this way, but that's a very short term for a district that maintains buildings and has to take care of the capital that you have to, so. Any questions? Because I'm going to get really in the weeds now, and I'm going to try to keep this very light. And if you have any questions, please just stop me, because this is about as much information you probably need to be dangerous, and now we're going to get dangerous. All right, so every page is an individual bond issue, and I'm just going to warn you, this is more information that you need, but I want you to have full transparency of all the nuances of a bond issue. So these are the capital appreciation bonds that were issued in 2001, and they were issued, they're called, they're deep discount bonds. They're sold with very high coupons, and you're allowed to issue bonds and throw them out, and they don't start amortizing for a really long time. So in 2001, the school district issued these bonds, and they will not start amortizing until 2027. Unfortunately, they have a very high interest rate, but tabs are by legal nature non-callable. So the good news is when we get through this debt profile, these will be gone and we'll never have to look at them ever again. But this is the largest piece of your debt service, and everything else that we have wraps around it. So the most important column on this page would be the gross debt service, and that's column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the debt service that Samantha has to build in the budget. That's different from your local effort. Gross debt service is principal and interest. If you see the column over local effort debt service, that's net the plan revenues that you receive that's, it's built into your state revenues. That's called state subsidy. So if you want to go down through the very bottom, every bond issue, I detail this, and again, nitty gritty details, but a long time ago, the reimbursement rate, if you can see the 4 rows at the bottom, the reimbursement rate was set by PDE as 26.12%. Every year I update this reimbursement rate. It's a market value aid ratio, which is an equalizing factor that the state issues every fiscal year to take into account demographic factors of each school district. So if you multiply the 2612 times the 8049, the state share are those two numbers multiplied together. So you've got 21.02%. And then if I subtract 21.02%, you get just under 79% of your local share. So the very bottom number, I won't do this painstakingly for every page, the very bottom number, if you take the gross debt service multiplied by the local effort, the place that you have to pay, that's what the local effort debt service formula is tied to. But please know that in your budget, you are passing a debt service line item that will mirror the gross debt service, which is just principal and interest. And again, these bonds, you see the red, non-callable. Then if we skip to page 3, we're going to get to the bond issues that are more traditional and do have call features. So the 2020 bond issue that was tax exempt, we issued $5,925,000. You pay principal every August. The interest rates, after we get through these next couple years, are just around 2%. And the yields range from 1% to 2.2%. You have the annual interest and then the gross debt service. And again, the gross debt service is nothing more than first column, which is principal, and column 4, which is the annual interest. And if you add those together, you get your gross debt service. And then again, this bond issue is reimbursable. So if you could look at the very, very bottom row, you'll see that you're paying 72.57%. And so the local effort debt service is just your gross debt service multiplied by that reimbursement rate.
This bond issue is callable if you look under call provisions, August 1st, 2025. But I know that no one sitting here wants to go back to the times that caused these interest rates to be this low, and I would just venture to guess that I will never refinance these bonds, and that'll be A-okay with you guys. And then if you could skip to page 4, the 2020 bond issue. This bond issue was actually issued taxable. In 2018, the Tax and Jobs Act was passed and we could not refund bond issues anymore, but we were able to refinance with taxable bonds. And taxable bonds during COVID were extremely low, so we were able to do a refinancing with taxable rates as an advance refunding. And these bonds are callable in 2030. So again, you have your principal payments in August 1st, your coupons and yields that range from 1.097 to 2.327. You've got your annual interest, and if you take your gross debt service, which again is column 1 plus column 4, you'll see that in column 5. And again, this bond issue is reimbursable. So if you look down below, you're paying 78.04%. The local effort debt service is tied to that. And these bonds will be callable in 2030. And again, I don't believe I will ever be able to refinance these either. So I do think this is what your debt's going to look like for quite some time. So then if you could skip to page 5. This is probably the most important page since you're getting ready to pass your budget soon. This is a nice summary. It takes the aggregate principal of all 3 bond issues, the aggregate interest. You've got your aggregate gross debt service that should tie in fiscal year 25, the $4,230,000 and change should be your gross debt service budget line item for debt service, and then the aggregate local share. You will see, I don't know, Samantha, do you line item the plan con within your state revenues, or is it just kind of combined in there as one of the figures?
I think it's combined in there.
Okay, so you won't see the plan con revenue, but it's in your state revenue. And so your aggregate local share, as I mentioned with the bar chart, is 3.29 million out to 2032. And then you have a nice step down in 2033 and 34. And officially at the end of this school year, you will have 10 years of debt and an A- stable rating, which is very strong. And as I suggested, hopefully you find this all very refreshing and very good news. Your bond issues are all fixed rate, so there's no risk whatsoever that these rates can change. And I don't really think you'll feel bad about not having any refinancing scenarios given the interest rates you're paying. So that was a lot of information and I did it sort of quickly. Does anyone have any questions? Or concerns, or anything you were concerned about you wanted me to specifically address?
I would just say for me, because I wasn't here, it looks like 2001 was when you guys built the high school. So,
Yeah, that's when we started.
yeah.
So what would our borrowing rate look like if we, as a school district, wanted, like, what would that look like for us if we wanted to borrow
Would
money?
you say it would be under $10 million?
Yes.
Well, what I'm doing right now, just so everyone knows, of course you're aware this interest rates are above average right now. But what I want school districts to understand is you're also considered a small issuer. And if you borrow less than $15 million, you're allowed to arbitrage, which means school districts that can do small projects, I'm encouraging them to do so because one, $10 million is refinanceable in 5 years. So I have a great amount of certainty that I will refinance all the bonds I'm doing right now in 5 years. But if you can borrow at 4% and you can invest your money at 5%, you're also legally permitted to earn a percent of profit while you're constructing.
Oh, okay.
So if I was to do $10 million, I could do an interest-only period and wrap around your existing debt. Pretty much the cost of interest, I would say probably for $10 million would be $400,000, and I'm just spitballing right now, $425,000. And then I would start to amortize principal in 2033 and 34 when your other debt steps down. And bond financing is the only financing mechanism that's allowed to do that. I can wrap around your existing debt as long as the debt combined, which is why I like to show this debt profile, is level or declining. So it would probably add 3.5 years to your debt service. You could borrow $10 million with that modest interest increase and probably not even stretch your debt to 15 years.
Thank you.
If you need $5 million, then cut the 425 in half because you're really only paying interest. So use the 400,000 and divide it by whatever kind of million, that's a real easy number to work with if you need 3, 2. So, and if it gets to the point where you need something real concrete, I'd be happy to do a formal scale request and get you something. But with a wraparound, it's not a terrible time to borrow. I have a lot of people that are funding multi-phase projects, and I can do $10 million every year. So I've been doing like $30 million projects in 3 pieces. And they are able to arbitrage, and all of the bonds I issue for them will be callable in 5 years.
And the debt will still be done with by 35.
Correct.
Same time.
So
Well, not 35. If I had to stretch it out 3 years and you only have a little bit of a step down, I bet I would say 37.
So you're at,
But I'm still saying
6 years.
15 years as far as the total term of your debt.
and you won't have to start paying on that until 33?
You won't have to pay the principal. You will definitely have to start
pay.
paying on the interest. And that's
Yeah.
the piece I told you was about 4, 4.25.
Gotcha.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
know that you guys think that me coming into Pittsburgh was a big deal, but I really appreciate the opportunity to see all of you. I don't get to see you very often, and I'm always here if I can be of service to you. And thank you so much. Have a great summer.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So next, Mr. Pence, we have a couple of outstanding educators that are in the audience today that are here hoping that we're going to give them our blessing to retire. Did you hear that, Mr. Charles?
Is that who we're talking about? Not today.
Maybe the next meeting you could come back and we'll let. No, of course not, of course not. So, starting with Mr. Don Trotz, about 28 years of service with the Greater Johnstown School District?
30, it'll be about 31.
I thought you told me
Yeah,
31.
about 31.3 or something.
Okay,
And then, of course, prior to that with the substituting.
Sure.
position.
did you get 0.3 because you worked really hard one
I
year?
did, yes, I did.
Okay, good.
Thank you for
Good
putting
to-
that in.
Yeah, well, I wasn't exactly sure, so that's,
Just
so,
that 1 year.
just that 1 year.
That 1 year.
So come on now, bring your family with you. I know they're here to enjoy this celebration. And you heard about our debt, even though it's something that we're happy about and it's not out of control, it doesn't allow us to purchase gold watches for our residents. All right. Congratulations.
All of you, thank all of you.
Nicholas, congratulations. All right. Absolutely. Why don't you go around and shake everybody's hand? Because I know they'd like to shake your hand.
Call me anytime, I'll still be part of you.
We have one.
Always.
And nothing.
Always.
Oh,
I know you too well, so.
Congratulations, sir.
Appreciate it, brother.
Congratulations.
Appreciate you.
Where, up and down.
Oh my goodness, I saw that, yeah, but goodbye.
Congratulations, Mr. Johnson. Welcome.
Here you go, I'm gonna give this to you guys. All right. Of course, absolutely. Are you our photographer tonight, Mr. Johnson? All right, we'll take it.
It's been great, it's been great being out, it's been great talking to you, Josh. Sorry about slowing the process. 100%, man. I won't forget that.
Whose job is it to stuff them in the back so you can't? Bruce, it's you, man. Put 'em in the back. You gotta grab them and put them in the back. That's
right.
Initiation.
That's right.
We are.
I am so sorry.
Ms. Simcoe, as the administrator here from the elementary school, come on up and join us. We're all gonna get in the picture. Come on up. It's a family affair. Now all of a sudden, he's an expert for Thank you. Thanks for coming. And they always said veterans breakfast. Put that on your calendar. Preach you back to that.
Right there for you, 100%, appreciate it.
All right. Sounds great.
Thank you all, appreciate that. We actually did. It never stops in our family.
Thank you. So next on our list, we'd like to recognize Jackie Sapolich. Jackie had retired as a shift supervisor for our heavy-duty cleaners, and she gave a lot of great years. I used to tell Jackie I wish she would come home and clean my house. She took such pride in her work, and no one took care of our schools better than Jackie. I truly mean that. She definitely believed that her work had to be visible, and she really did a nice job keeping our schools up to par, and we surely miss you, but come on up and we'll celebrate the retirement. We need you to not retire, that's what we need.
Thank you. Good luck, Sam. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah. Thank you.
Good luck.
Right. Stay here, we're gonna do a picture, that's what
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'll see you in the neighborhood. And our final retiree that we would like to recognize tonight is Marjorie Post. Marge, come on up. Marge was a head cleaner. She worked for the school district for about 10 years. Thank you so much. And Marge was always surrounded by a bunch of men. So, she had more than one job to do while she was taking care of our middle school. Thank you so much for your years of service and taking such good care of us. when Marjorie sent her letter, she said, I guess I should think about retirement. I'm at that age where I should probably think about it, and I had no idea you were at that age. The pace you kept and the work that you did for us, absolutely, I bet. Hey.
Who left John home and said we lost somebody?
All right, thanks for coming down. We appreciate all your support. Our final presentation tonight, Mr. Pence, we would like to share some end of the year data. Many of you know we, with the help of our administration and our Director of Education, Mr. Dino Scarton, we embarked on a journey where we changed our reading program, our math program for the first time in many, 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 many years. And we want to share with you some data that supports the success of those program changes at the elementary school. Tonight with us, we have Ms. Courtney Simcoe. She's one of our assistant principals at Johnstown Elementary School. And I appreciate that she was able to come down and celebrate a little bit about our littles at Johnstown Elementary School. So thank you, Ms. Simcoe. All right.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right, let's put that on as a slideshow. If you just click
right here. I'm sorry.
there you go. All right. How about me being that tech?
All right, thank you guys for having me and giving me this opportunity to speak tonight and showcase some of the successes at Johnstown Elementary School, but more specifically, as Dr. Arcario said, some of the new programming that was purchased and that the board allowed us to purchase and how that directly impacts our student achievement and the goals within our targeted school improvement plan. So this slideshow, the reason it says Wednesday, May 8th on it, this was from our TSI state board meeting. That was some of the middle schools. So most of the data in here is exactly the same as it was on May 8th, except I was able to add in some quarter 4 benchmarking data and some of the end of the year stuff that wasn't available on May 8th. So for Johnstown Elementary School, our goals for our targeted school improvement plan. We have 4 goals: improve regular student attendance by 10%, provide at least 8 communications with families of all students regarding the attendance policy, increase on grade level reading by 15% across the school, so grades kindergarten through 4th, and increase on grade level math by 15% across the school, grades K through 4. So, once I'm going to go through some specifics on each one of these 4 goals, but we're talking tier 1 is used throughout the rest of the presentation. So tier 1 is your low risk. That's where you would like the majority of your students to fall, is tier 1 in terms of anything, academics, behavioral, attendance. So saying tier 1 later in the presentation is talking about that they're on grade level. That's where you want your students. Some of the reporting that we used, we collected data quarterly for this plan and also used additional benchmark assessments, which compare those students nationally to others in their same grade. So using those benchmarks assessments such as AIMSweb or math growth helps us to see our student success and how they compare to others and if they are reading appropriately. So the first goal was to increase regular attendance by 10%. So I'll give you guys a second here because there's a lot of words on the screen. So like I said, the data was collected quarterly. So those are like the vertical column. So your first vertical column is quarter 1. Obviously the second one is quarter 2. You'll see quarter 3 and quarter 4. And if you could just take a moment and look at the percentage that is underlined. You're probably thinking, the number went down. Why are you up here talking about student success if the numbers are going down? So want to be completely transparent in some of the changes that we did this year and how you take a hit with some of those changes. Attendance for the elementary school in the past has been a little overinflated in terms of the percentages. And the reason for that, so middle school, high school, they're taking quarterly, or every period attendance, period by period. At the elementary level, it was taken once per day in the morning. So a student could be there for 2 hours and leave to go to an appointment and not return. A student could also be there the majority of the school day, leave early and have that not counted against them in any way. So one thing we did new this year, we started taking attendance twice a day. So elementary school teachers take attendance in the morning, in the afternoon. We have rates that go into Raptor that directly connects with Power School. So we are now living in reality. So that number here, okay, so you do see it went from 52% up to 55, up to 58.8. So once we made that change, we knew we were gonna take a hit. We did. But it's a hit worth taking because now we're truly working with real data and we can see the improvement from 52.3 up to 58. And then we'll use that as our baseline data for next year and continue to go towards the goal of that 10% increase. A couple of noteworthy items. Again, I know numbers going down. I don't want you to just focus on that. So a couple of noteworthy things down here at the end of the Q3 column. We just ran a couple of reports compared to last year to see if these changes were having an effect. So even with all the new changes, so 30 plus unexcused absences last school year at the end of Q3. We ran that and it was 100 students. This year, 65. So the amount of students with this, large portion of unexcused absences is decreasing. And in Q4, we looked at Trojan Summer Academy requirements. So these are students, like this would align with retainment. They're required to attend Trojan Summer Academy based on absences. Last school year, the district looked at 50 plus absences for Trojan Summer Academy. So we had invited 78 students, 78 students were required to come to Trojan Summer Academy. We invited a lot more. We had a lot of staff that were interested. So the number of students that we invited to Trojan Summer Academy last year was a large number, but only 78 of those were required based on attendance. So this year, if you look below that, we raised the bar. Instead of 50 plus absences, we're now looking at 40 plus, and still lowered the students. So that is growth. That is progress. So compared last year to this year, 100 to 65, and then over here, raising the bar and still seeing progress with the number of students. This is new because Mr. Price just shared it with us yesterday. So as of June 3rd, 24, we're looking at the chronic absenteeism data. So chronic absence is missing 10% or more days of school. So JES saw a 9.1% decrease in chronic absenteeism. Overall for the district, we saw a 5.2% decrease in chronic absenteeism. So we're moving in the right direction for sure. Our second goal was on regular attendance communications. It makes sense that if parents know the attendance policy and are consistently reminded of the attendance policy, then school attendance will improve for their students. They can't fix it if they don't know, what the state and board policies are. So just that constant communication. Our goal was 8 total communications, and we went well above that with the Power School program that Dr. Arcurio brought up earlier. So it's called PINDO. It's through Power School. It is fantastic at letting us message parents, not even attendance related, but just communicating with parents has increased tremendously through this program. So one thing PINDO does just automatically is send a letter to parents at 3 unexcused, 6 unexcused, 10 unexcused, and 15 unexcused. And it's just a little, comes through the text message and an email. It just says, hey there, want to let you know about your students' attendance, and it gives a nice visual of where they are and where they should be, and just how to get there with the goals. The next is our reading data. So another program, the new curriculum that was purchased was McGraw-Hill Wonders, and we use that in grades K through 4, or we use that in K through 7. But at the elementary school, it's K through 4. And our goal, again, for the targeted school improvement plan, was to increase tier 1, which is on-level readers, by 15%. We wanted that number to increase by 15% for students to be reading on grade level. So from the beginning of the year benchmark, we had at 26.6% of students reading on grade level, up to 42.2%. So that says 42.2 over there. So we increased by 15%. Yes, reached our goal. Obviously, there's a ton of work left to do. I highlighted though some of those. So that was the average. The average increased by 15% overall. But really looking down at grade by grade, and trying to see where maybe there were some inconsistencies or what happened there. Brand new programming. Again, just like with the change in taking attendance, you do something new, you may see a little drop, but that is your baseline. You are growing from there. Something new for students. This kindergarten, blew me away. Started out with 26% on grade level, ended the year with 78%, and all they know, all that kindergarten class knows is this new programming for reading and math. First grade had the new programming last year, so this was their second year in it. That jump went from 24 to 39%. And these are kids reading on grade level. So obviously, continuous room to improve. But man, that was great to see, to really sit back at the end of the year and digest that data and see the growth of those students. So again, 3rd and 4th grade, first year of the program, getting used to it. They've really only learned that one curriculum, throughout their school year. So seeing that kindergarten and 1st grade really jump up like that is unbelievably promising for reading on grade level. Same with math. Overall, we went from 28.2% of students, tier 1 math, jumped up to 47.4% by the end of the year. For tier 1, low risk, the majority of your students should be in kindergarten with the biggest growth. So I'm super excited next year to compare those numbers and just see, again, how effective the curriculum is. The numbers don't lie. It was very successful for the elementary school this year. And then these are our goals for next year. We're keeping the regular attendance rate increasing by 10%. That's not going anywhere. Same with the on grade level readers and math performance, 15%. We're going to keep that for our goals. Just keep improving and celebrating student success. And our 3rd goal is to obtain banner status for our school-wide positive behavior interventions and supports. So we were recognized for tier 1 and tier 2, and we are going to go for tier 3 next year. So again, those tiered systems, behavior, academics, attendance, all fits together. Any questions?
Yeah, the absentees, and you said no. What's the main reason you got from parents that the students didn't come to school?
Miss Bus, don't have transportation. That's my number one reason.
I think it looks like the teachers, K through 4, need to give a good thank you. See numbers like that go up, that means we have some good staff up there, so that's
100%.
fantastic.
And we do like a quarterly staff meeting and celebrate this data, but they don't know those quarter four numbers.
I know we appreciate it. Yeah.
I absolutely.
How is the new method being received by teachers?
Great. So at first, a little nervous, but the professional learning
that the district provides with them, and those Fridays, the early dismissal Fridays, for the professional learning, that's where they got all the professional development. And, it was the student or the teacher, like the call-up numbers on Fridays. They were there. They were there for the professional learning because it was worth it. And seeing those numbers throughout the year, after quarter one, after quarter two, after quarter three, that kept them going. Very good.
Hopefully this growth will continue then to junior high, to high school, since it's starting, you know.
Any programs are in the middle school? Yeah, this was just
Right?
like the TSI, this was, middle school and elementary school, but I just took the elementary portion and marked them up here. So yeah, this programming is going through the schools and very, very hopeful. So I just wanted to thank you guys,
Thank you.
for
Thanks
all
for your hard
this new
work.
stuff and just showing you how it works.
Yeah, we're saying thank you to you
Yeah,
guys.
it's-
Thank you, Ms. Simca. Nice job. Appreciate you giving us that overview. That concludes our presentations this evening, Mr. Pence.
Thank you. Now, we'll go into hearing of citizens. No, speech. You've got 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes to discuss their topics. No derogatory remarks shall be made against board members, board officials, and employees with no profanity. The remaining time be forfeited. If an individual needs additional time, they are to contact the superintendent secretary to schedule an appointment. Melissa Teeter?
On May 24th, I had the privilege of watching my son graduate class of 2024. So you probably won't see me here as much anymore, if any. So I kind of just wanted to give like some last remarks of just like different things I've noticed through elementary till now. Just specifically with him. In elementary school and middle school, things were great. they had him tested actually in elementary school, and he was gifted, and we were assigned a GIEP who was fantastic. We had Mrs. Conway who helped us through middle school when he went there. I do understand that when students reach the high school, that they're kind of giving a little bit more independence because of their age. However, one thing I would suggest is if maybe they could evaluate somehow individually with students, because we went through the whole year of COVID, and that changed things with my son big time. It just seemed like nobody was giving him the support that he needed as far as pushing him. There's only so much that I could do at home as far as punishment or praising his behaviors or things like that. So we struggled, and I went from my son being gifted and in National Junior Honor Society to we hit those high school years. Last year in 11th grade, he failed. He had to do summer school. Part of the problem was he was on a summit program, and that wasn't working for us, but it was a fight of keep him in it, don't keep him in it. But I did get him pulled out for his senior year, but he did summer school. He had 2 classes that he absolutely had to do. He passed those 2 classes. He finished them in 4 days. He was done with summer school. So he knows what he's doing. It's there, he just needs pushed. So then there was a math class that he was told he would need for his senior year for math credits to graduate. It was a summit class. Everything else he was pulled out of summit except for that one because he was told he had to take that class. We were struggling big time. By the 3rd marking period, it was contacted from his teacher who CC'd Mr. Dieter, I believe was his guidance counselor at that point. Long story short, we found out he did not need that class. So for 3 marking periods, my son struggled and we didn't think he was gonna graduate. He had his extra math credit from being in his advanced classes previously. So thankfully, he was pulled out of that, put in an elective. We still struggled a little bit towards the end. I like to give credit where credit's due. Mrs. Bruce, I think is her name. Fantastic. There was something that he didn't have turned in for his final project for his English class. She gave him the time to get it all in so that that was not a failing class for him. He did all the extra work that he needed to do. In fact, there was one other thing he needed done. She gave him another chance to do it. This was all within, like, I think it was Friday and Monday, the senior final grades had to be in, and she gave him that time to do it. I cannot thank her enough for doing that. So there definitely are the good teachers that step up, and I could name a whole list of them. But yeah, like I said, my biggest thing was the whole, like, maybe we need to evaluate some of the guidance counselors. We previously had, like I said, that was a big issue. We were told he needed that class and he didn't, and that was a huge, huge struggle, but I can breathe now. He finally graduated, so.
Okay, and thank you for coming. I just have one question.
Okay.
You had him in Summit.
Yeah.
Right? And he was having a harder time in Summit. Is that because, I know Summit is more.
Self-motivation.
It's self. So
More
he-
independent.
Yeah, the only reason that he was even started in Summit was because he was going to do the Penn Highland stuff.
Okay.
But then he kind of opted to not do that. He stuck with the Summit because that's what his friends were doing. So the first year, you know, he got through it and we see a little bit of struggle, but then it was just like the second year and it just got worse.
I understand.
But I mean, that part to me was frustrating as a parent because he should have been graduated this year with the Penn Highlands degree, and it killed me to see that he didn't. But it's not anyone in particular. Like I said, I knew. He was a little too, but-
Well, I thank you for your comments.
Thank you, and congratulations.
Yeah. Well, we gotta go back and do an executive session. Joy.
All right. We should go in the conference room.
I mean,
It's not much better than talking from outside my office. It's not.
Take his jacket and shirt.
I know.
I
I know too.
That was
sunny all day.
I got
It's awful. It's awful.
You want Will back or you want to use your walker? We can push it on the chair.
Either way you go.
I think you should let me drive.
Where you going?
I'll make you a bet. I think you're gonna be okay.
I think you should let me drive. I mean, much faster drive than me.
Look at the service.
No dumping them out there.
He keeps to himself. He stays out of trouble.
It's just a wall, it's okay.
Say stuff because like he likes to do games and sports stuff and stay to himself. And I'm like, but he's out of trouble. He's not running the streets, which he's not supposed to. He has his
I am certified in social studies, 7 to 12 as well.
I thought there was more people. Just me. I'm like,
I
okay.
have somebody there. Yeah. So third year, just degree, And then this year actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, my only problem is like, I don't get that time. And get better because I'm continuously creating. Now, we did adopt new curriculum, or we do have new reading series. But next year, they're planning on having like every single teacher's going to be.
I would say,
They're gonna have a reading block. And then.
you guys trying to be times today.
Absolutely.
Why are you in home school?
And I'm like,
He was a year old.
Yes.
It was freezing here. I went out on my grass.
No, I actually live in Maryland. My cousin is he's not. So is that?
You gotta provide
And
more.
he's going to four. He's going to. Yeah, I have one.
No,
I have two daughters, which is freshman.
I recall.
Yeah, it's scary. And I have my other son's in
For some, but instead of the kids, they're just, we just love you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So. Oh, okay.
I would go 16.
Oh my God, see,
Originally, I had observed and I loved it. Oh, it was amazing. I just tried to try it. So I was really interested in beginning the school district, and they just didn't have that gap. And I ended up student teaching at Plum Valley, and they needed teachers so bad. Lori Meyer. So I taught with Lori, and then Reynolds, she ended up moving down. I guess she got moved up and didn't want to be in the grade and moved back down. I don't know. So it was just a lot of, I guess, changes that year. It's been I can't believe how many.
That's what I saw.
I've only gone to a few meetings, but I feel like it's been really way too long. But it's kind of nice to see everything. Okay. Was Dr. Ledney still there? Everything was. I know. I love Dr. Ledney. You know, we come in.
When I first started, he was in federal programs for a while, even when he. Yeah.
Because I know he was at the concert.
But he still does
I
that.
got, it was like just last year, like doing a lot of work when I started. And then I saw lessons. Now I see. Yeah, or, so he's a good soul.
That's the one thing about it. Every once in a while, you pop in my door and I'm like, Because he still checks up on them. Yeah, so I love that. She still teaches. Yeah, she's in the classroom. First grade? No, second grade. How about you? She's in, I don't remember, first, I think she's second grade too. They moved teachers around because we needed like 4 teachers for first grade. There was such a high number of kids, so I think it's 4 in second grade this year. Yeah, it's just a big class.
Oh, yeah.
We had a pretty big 6th grade class, we had 78. Between the 30, yeah, between the 3 teachers, that was a lot. I just started. You're gonna have to come over.
I really am.
Sticky tack.
I was gonna say, I can put it on them.
I see what there's a,
It's all of us. That's literally everybody.
so Missy in
Jen, you
Pittsburgh,
wouldn't
they
have
have
time
this,
to leave and get ice cream.
it's like this House of Illusions that they have down in Pittsburgh now. For kids. It reminds me of that, what you were talking, because it's all like different angles and you see the different angles.
Does it make you nauseous? Because those slanted things.
Yeah, and there's a spinning circle you walk through on a platform.
Normally, we call each other tots, so we were very formal last night.
Yeah, I did not like that.
It's all good. It was fun.
We were hoping everyone would leave.
I went. Absolutely.
I should have done it for him.
Great place.
We had a lot of fun.
I did both
last
actually.
night.
I went to the cigar bar and.
Oh, good, good.
I tell you, don't read it.
I'm not telling her that, Ron. She'll give me heck because she knows you went.
She did better, right? That's right.
Now,
I figured that. Why everybody's here?
we are here.
Yeah. Hey, Ed, I'd like to call the meeting, the Greater Johnstown School District, regular board meeting. We're gonna go to, I need a motion for the approval of the minutes of the special board meeting on May 6th, 2024. Motion by Michael, second by Tony. Any questions? All in favor? Oh, minutes. Who said, yeah, you got it.
Mr. Allen?
Yeah.
Mr. Belsky?
Yes.
Mr. Davy?
Yes.
Mr. Jordan?
Yes.
Oh, you,
You have to
Oh,
stay.
you need
You are
to
present.
stay.
Abstain.
Mr. McKessie? Mrs. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Pence?
Yes.
Mr. Rumsberg?
Yes.
Ms. Foggy?
Yes.
Motion passes.
The president report, I'm just, my report is that the negotiations with the teachers are going on pretty good. Ron, we should have a good,
Hope for the best.
for the best on, I think Thursday's the next meeting, right?
Correct.
Dr. Akiria for the superintendent's report.
So, thank you. I will be brief. I would ask our folks listening in and our folks in the audience, we will be posting our summer schedule here very soon. That will include summer in the city, extended school year, Trojan Summer Academy, as well as credit recovery. So we'll make some final decisions at a team meeting with the administration on Thursday, and then we'll get that information out to everyone, our families especially, so they can plan accordingly. And then I would just like to take a moment to recognize Samantha Williams. This will actually be her last board meeting before she moves on to greener pastures. I just want to say personally, for me, and professionally, thank you. Thank you for being a good friend. Thank you for being all of the ESSER funding and reporting and all of the spending and changes. The school district at Greater Johnstown saw the most changes while the time you were here. And that would have been possible without you and leading a very efficient team. You will be missed tremendously, especially by me. And I know the members of the board feel the same, as well as our administrative team. But the good news is you're not going too far away. So we can continue to, maybe have lunch some days and get together. So we wish you nothing but the best. And thank you for all that you've done for us and everything that you did to kind of keep me straight and keep the district in line. So thank you.
I appreciate that. I do. Really appreciate my time and everything you guys have done for me as well, so.
Yeah, well, I'll just jump on that and saying like all our reports from Wessel was, there was no arguments or things that we have to do. I think you should be happy that you did a great job.
Thank you. Tried my best.
Board secretary report, Debbie?
you. The following executive sessions were held for contractual matters regarding the teacher's contract. May 22nd, 4 o'clock to 8:30, May 28th, 10 o'clock to 1 p.m. And prior to this meeting from 4:05 to 5 o'clock, personnel matters regarding candidates for the positions listed on the agenda: confidential employee, a professional employee, confidential employees, supervisor of special education, teen parenting employees, and a contractual matter regarding the teacher's contract. And most recently, from 6:10 to 7:20, personnel matters regarding confidential employees, Act 93 employees, safety and security matters. And that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Debbie. Solicitor's report, Ron? No report, Mr. President. Well, now we'd like to go to reports and resolutions of the standing committee. Education committee, Tony?
Education committee, we 10624, and we have one addition to the E 109-24, which is an addition that Amy mentioned of G 805.4 electronic control devices, police department to that, and then one more addition of the E 120-24 that is related between the district and our school group LLC for school messengers, communication license and subscriptions effective May 24th through May 23rd of 2027 at the rate of $7,490 for the first year, and the annual renewal of $5,600 the second and third year to be approved.
Motion?
Excuse me, we need a motion from 106 through 115 because there's a line in the name that needs to be filled in for 116.
Okay. So we're gonna go from 106-24 to 115-24. Motion. Randy, second. Michael, any questions? All in favor? Motion passed.
E 11624, the recommendation is amplified. So that Amplify be awarded the science curriculum proposal at a cost of $239,099.20 per year.
Motion? Motion. By Michael, second by Randy. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed. Then we'll go from 117-24 to Tony read the 120-24. Motion? Motion. By Randy. Second by Ed. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passes. Now we'll go to Kimberly for personnel and negotiations.
Okay, PN 33224, that Les Butchko be appointed to the position of business manager for a 3-year term at a prorated salary of $83,000 with all contingencies as listed.
Motion. Motion by Randy, second by Ed. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 33324.
So moved.
Motion by Edward, second by Randy. Any questions? All in favor?
PN,
Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 33424.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Tony, second by Randy. Any questions? Roll. Yeah. Oh, we need a roll call for 334-24.
Mr. Belsky,
Yes.
Mr. Dady, Mr. Jordan,
Yes.
Mrs. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Pence,
Yes.
Mr. Rumsberg,
I gotta thank him. Yes.
Ms. Foggy,
Yes.
Mr. Allen.
Yes.
Motion passes.
PN 33524 to PN 34024.
Motion. Motion by Tony, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 34124, that Bethany George be appointed to the position of 5th grade teacher at Johnstown Middle School with all contingencies as listed.
Motion by Tony, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 34224, that Alyssa Cavarda be appointed to the position of 5th grade teacher at Johnstown Middle School with all contingencies as listed.
Motion by Mike, second by Tony. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 34324, that Abrialpha Ferry be appointed to the position of 3rd grade teacher
at Johnstown Elementary School contingent upon personnel officer receiving all necessary payroll forms and clearance documents with no violations noted prior to employment with the district for the teacher's contract. Effective date to be determined by the administration.
Motion.
Motion.
Randy, second. Tony, any questions? All in favor? Motion passed.
PN 34424 that Roger Conley be appointed to the position of physical education health teacher at the Johnstown Middle School with all contingencies as listed at step 8.
Motion. Motion, Tony.
Second.
Question. Missy, did you second it? Any questions? Randy? Second. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passed.
PN 34524 we're not going to address. PN 34624 that Jennifer Lishka be appointed to the position of special education, learning support, emotional support, autistic support at Johnstown Middle School with all contingencies listed at step 5, instructional 2 masters.
Motion by Tony, second Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passed.
PN 34724 that Bailey Pattison be appointed to the position of special education, life skills support, learning support teacher at Johnstown High School with all contingencies as listed.
Motion.
So moved.
Motion, Ed, second. Tony, any questions? All in favor? Motion passed.
PN 34824 that Sydney Schaefer be appointed to the position of floating substitute teacher at Johnstown Middle School with all contingencies as listed.
Motion. Second. Michael, second. Tony, any questions? All in favor? Motion passed.
PN 34924 that Stephanie Maslow be appointed to the position of long-term substitute, special education, learning support, emotional support, autistic support teacher at Johnstown Elementary School with all contingencies as listed.
Motion. Tony, second. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passed.
PN 35024 that Angela Townsend be appointed to the position of school psychologist intern contingent with all contingencies as listed at the rate of $25 per hour.
Motion, Tony, second. Edward, any questions? In favor? Motion passes.
PN 351 and PN 35224.
Motion,
So moved.
Edward, second. Tony, any questions? All in favor? Motion passes.
PN 35324 that Hannah Sembauer be appointed to the supplemental position of junior high girls soccer coach for a 1-year term with all contingencies as listed.
Motion. Tony, Michael, second. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passed.
PN 35424 that the individuals be appointed to the following supplemental positions with all contingencies as listed. The musical organizations, A, Johnstown High School Assistant Band Director Jesse Trentini. B, Johnstown High School Choral Director for 1-year term Haley Pascarella. C, Johnstown High School Orchestra Director for 1-year term Haley Pascarella. D, JHS Color Guard Assistant Advisor for 1-year term Shane Ross. E, Johnstown Middle School Band Director for 1-year term Adam Steinbring. F, Johnstown Middle School Color Guard Major Ed Advisor for a 1-year term Jacqueline Wheelnecker. And D, Johnstown Middle School Color Guard Major Ed Advisor for a 1-year term Danielle Childs.
Motion, Tony, second. Michael, any questions? All in favor? Motion against? Motion passed.
C 355 through 360.
Motion. Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, can I add 361 in there?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion for. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion, Michael, second. Kimberly, any questions? All in favor? Motion passed.
PN 36224, that Becky Jo Freeman be appointed to the position of secretary at Johnstown Middle School with all contingencies as listed.
Motion by Tony, second. Michael, any questions? All in favor? Motion passed.
PN 36324 to PN 38424.
Motion. So moved by Edward, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 38524.
I need a motion. Motion, Tony, second Edward. Any questions? Roll call. 385.
Mr. Davy?
Yes.
Mr. Jordan?
Yes.
Mr. McKessie?
Yes.
Mrs. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Pence?
Yes.
Mr. Romsberg?
Stay family?
Ms. Foggy?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Belsky?
Yes.
Motion passes.
PN 386 and PN 38724.
Motion? Motion by Tony, second by, Edward. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 38824, that the resignation of Caitlin Gross, first grade teacher at Johnstown Elementary School, effective the end of the 2023-2024 school year, be accepted and the administration be authorized to post/advertise the vacancy.
Motion. Edward, second. Michael, any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed. Go to athletics, AS 4524, motion? Motion by Tony, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passed. Now we'll go to budget and finance. Michael Allen.
BF 6824, that the general funds bills in the amount of $3,180,508.78 for April 2024 be approved as submitted.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Roll call. BF 6. Second by Missy. I need a roll call.
Mr. Jordan?
Do I need to abstain from that? Yes.
Mr. McKessie?
Yes.
You need to abstain.
Oh, I got to say,
The budget.
And for what reason?
family, I guess.
Mrs. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Pence?
Yes.
Mr. Romsberg?
Yeah.
Ms. Foggy?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Belsky?
Yes.
Motion passes.
I have a vote. BF 6924 to BF 8024.
Motion.
So moved.
So moved by Edward, second by Tony. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed. Randy, we'll go to you for,
Excuse me, Mr. President, on a roll call. I don't vote on that?
you abstain.
You did.
You abstain.
Oh, I did.
Huh? 68?
Yes, 68.
You didn't call
Did
me.
I? Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Davy?
Yes.
No, you need to abstain. On 68 for budget and finance.
I thought it was 334.
Well, there were. There's a personnel and one on budget.
You snuck that in on.
I know, sorry about that. Motion passes.
Thank you, yes. Robert.
Okay.
BO 3724, that Laurel Asphalt be awarded the quote for parking lot paving at a cost not to exceed $68,130 at Johnstown Elementary School.
We need a motion. Tony, second by Bruce. Any question? All in favor? Motion passed.
BO 3824 through BO 4424.
Motion. Moved by Edward, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
BO 4524, that Avail be awarded the proposal to provide the Johnstown Elementary School with classroom and conference room furniture at a cost not to exceed $639,443.44.
Motion.
So moved.
Edward, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
BO 4624, that Avail be awarded the proposal to provide the Johnstown Middle School with media center and classroom furniture at a cost not to exceed $576,513.41.
Motion.
Motion.
By Michael, second by Bruce. Any question? Any favor? Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
BO 4724, that Avail be awarded the proposal to provide the Johnstown High School with media center furniture at a cost not to exceed $172,816.31.
Motion.
Motion.
By Michael, second.
Second.
Bruce, any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
BO 4824 and BO 4924.
Motion.
Motion.
By Kim, second. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
BO 5024, that the addendum to the lease agreement between the district and St. Patrick's Catholic School through the Diocese of Altoona, Johnstown, Pennsylvania during the 24-25, 25-26 school years at the monthly rate of $1,000 under the same terms and conditions be approved. See attachment B on that.
Motion Tony, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed, motion passed.
BO 5124.
Motion.
Motion.
Kimberly, second by Tony. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed, motion passed.
BO 5224, that Garter World be awarded the request for proposal for security services within the district at a cost of $28.49 per hour for the site supervisor and $24.42 per hour for each security guard for a one-year term beginning with the 24-25 school year.
Motion. Motion, Michael.
Second.
Second, Bruce. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed, motion passed.
Okay. BO 5324, need to have discussion. We have two quotes. These are for curtains at the auditorium at the high school. We have a quote to replace all the curtains at a cost of $31,936.65, or part of the curtains for $11,930.47.
Well, what condition are all of them in?
Well, they all need replaced. However, some of the curtains in the full package are not necessary for the types of shows that we run. So we could do parts, right? We could do part now and then we could do the rest of them later, or we could just do it all. I'll ask Mr. Kashadi because he was involved in this. We're not receiving any kind of a discount by doing all the curtains at once, are we? Okay, I didn't think so. I just wanted to double check.
Samantha, what were those costs again?
For all of them, it's $31,936.65. Or for part of them, it's $11,930.47.
Like going apart. What's it part? 1/4, 1/3, 1/2. You know what I mean?
You know, which curtains
We'll
will
read
that
it.
guarantee we have? Because like, they're dry rotted. I mean, they've got it. The ones that are still up.
So are our window curtains in the auditorium also. Those need to all be replaced, and those are very ornate, fan. I mean, would have to have those custom made. So that also needs to be done. And we have yet to get a quote and pricing on the window curtains. So it's kind of like everything that's a curtain in the auditorium needs to be replaced at some point.
I can't remember, these stage curtains, were they from
The original, they're the original
like
curtains.
before 2000, or
When we renovated and
that's what I'm
built.
saying, 2002?
Yep, those are the original curtains. They should be replaced more often. But now that we're, aware, we know better and we'll do better. And we have funds with our ESSER dollars to do it now.
You're replacing all of them. Yeah, if we have the funds to do it, then I agree with that instead of.
If we do partial, they probably wouldn't match either.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah.
It would be the same company, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
I mean,
would-
right now they wouldn't match.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
But you don't see all the curtains.
Yeah,
There's like
still.
different layers of them, but I understand what you're
And
saying.
if those other ones aren't there, like for musical this year, we had to take props and put them out the sides to block the wings so you couldn't see the actors on the
Well,
sides.
yeah, so many, so might as well use it.
Yeah.
All right, so that's,
And then we would need to go ahead, Mr. Kashadi, and move forward with the window curtains. See if we can get some quotes on what those costs would be. That may be partial and not full replacement. Some are in worse shape than others, like they don't close.
Yeah.
So, all right,
we can do that.
all right, thanks, sir.
So we're gonna go with the full replacement for the 31.
Yes.
So we have to reread that, Ronan?
We didn't make a motion yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Go
PO
ahead.
5324, that CJ's Music Production Services be awarded the quote to fully replace the soft goods curtains around the stage at Cochran Auditorium, Johnstown High School, at a cost not to exceed $31,936.65.
Motion
Motion.
by Michael, second.
Second.
Now, Bruce, any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
BO 5424 and BO 5524.
Motion by Edward, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed. Ed for the cafeteria.
1424.
Motion.
Motion.
Motion by Michael, second
Second.
by Bruce. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed. Motion for adjournment.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Second. What? Hey, Ron, you gotta go to more sales.